Stop scrolling. This is happening right now. Just 1 minute ago, the lights went out on America's powerhouse. The federal government has officially shut down, dragging the world's biggest economy into freefall. I'm your host with the freshest pulse on the planet. Welcome to 1 Minute Ago News, where we deliver the truth before the headlines even print. Today, why your paycheck, your parks, and your future just hit pause. Buckle up. We're diving into the partisan firestorm that's freezing the nation. If you're not subscribed yet, hit that button now, because in the world of 1 Minute Ago News, delay is danger. In the cradle of democracy, where the founding fathers dreamed of checks and balances, a familiar specter has returned. It's October 1st, 2025, and the United States federal government has ground to a halt. Lights flicker off in agency buildings from Washington to Wichita. Over 800,000 civil servants, the unsung guardians of our daily lives, are sent home without a paycheck. Essential services limp on, but the machinery of state, frozen. This isn't just a bureaucratic hiccup, it's a shutdown. And as the days tick by, it's not only the government that's shuttering, it's the economy, teetering on the edge of a chasm carved by partisan knives. But why? How does the most powerful nation on earth allow its own engine to stall? Pull back the curtain, and you'll find a toxic brew of ideology, intransigence, and the ghosts of elections past. This is the story of America's latest self-inflicted wound, a tale of broken promises, billion-dollar gambles, and the human cost of political theater. Here at 1 Minute Ago News, we're not just reporting the fallout, we're unpacking the fuse that lit it. Let's rewind, but keep it fresh, because at 1 Minute Ago News, history isn't dusty, it's the spark for tomorrow. Every year, like clockwork, Congress must pass 12 appropriations bills to fund the federal government for the fiscal year ahead. That's October 1st to September 30th. Think of it as the nation's credit card renewal. Without it, the lights go out on everything from national parks to missile defense. When they can't agree, enter the continuing resolution, a temporary bandage to keep the bleeding at bay. But in 2025, even that failed. The roots trace back to March, when Democrats, under Senate Majority Leader Chuck Schumer, grudgingly backed a Republican stopgap bill to avert an early crisis. It bought time through September, but whispers of doom echoed in the halls. Fast forward to July, President Donald J. Trump, back in the Oval Office after his 2024 triumph, signs the Rescissions Act of 2025. This bombshell slashes $9 billion from foreign aid and public broadcasting, a move cheered by his base as fiscal hawkery, decried by opponents as reckless amputation of America's global reach. Democrats seethed. Why negotiate funding if the executive could just claw it back? By August, the Senate eked out wins. $433 billion for veterans programs sailed through, but storm clouds gathered. Republicans, emboldened by Trump's shadow, demanded a clean bill. No strings, no Democratic wish lists. Enter the flashpoint. Health insurance subsidies. Democrats pushed for a $1 trillion infusion to shield millions from skyrocketing premiums, tying it to the broader budget. Republicans balked, labeling it a socialist giveaway. Foreign aid? Trump wanted more cuts, framing them as America first. Never mind the diplomats left twisting in the wind abroad. September became a pressure cooker. House Speaker Mike Johnson unveiled a spending blueprint on the 16th. No subsidies, funding extended to January. It zipped through the House on party lines but crashed in the Senate, filibustered by Democrats crying foul. Counteroffers flew like arrows in a medieval siege. Democrats sweetened the pot. Republicans dug in. A last-ditch summit on the 29th, Trump, congressional brass, the works, dissolved into acrimony. By midnight on the 30th, no deal. The shutdown clock struck zero. At its core, this is partisan trench warfare amplified by Trump's return. His administration's rescission power, a rarely used 1974 tool revived like a zombie, poisoned the well. Democrats feared any compromise would be undone by executive fiat. Republicans saw concessions as capitulation to radical left demands. Add a razor-thin congressional majority, post-2024 midterms left the House a 218 to 217 GOP edge, and you've got paralysis. It's not just policy, it's power. Trump Democrats as bumbling clowns, him as the stern conductor. Theater? Sure. But the audience, you, me, the 330 million Americans, pays the ticket. And at 1 minute ago news, we're calling it like we see it. This gridlock isn't governance, it's gamesmanship. Now the government's half-shut doors ripple into everyday chaos. Picture this, the National Institutes of Health? Doors bolted, research on cancer cures paused mid-pipette. Centers for Disease Control? Skeletal staff tracking outbreaks, but data crunching halted. Food warriors? The WIC program? Lifeline for 6.6 million low-income moms and kids, suspends enrollments, risking empty pantries. Medicare cards, can't print them. National parks, barricaded, rangers furloughed. Even NASA's Dreamers, 15,000 engineers sidelined, though the International Space Station hums on with a skeleton crew for Artemis moonshots. Furloughs hit hard. 803,000 federal workers idled, another 700,000 grinding without pay. Postmen, inspectors, scientists. Military families? Active duty troops serve on, but civilian Pentagon staff vanish. Veterans' benefits flow, a small mercy, but new claims backlog like rush hour traffic. Air travel? TSA screens, but controller training stops, flirting with delays. Amtrak chugs, barely. And the Trump admin's wild card, mass firings. On day one, all but 4 members of the National Council on the Humanities get the boot. Rumors swirl of 16,000 more axed from environmental agencies. Think Forest Service, EPA watchdogs, labor unions sue, but the chill spreads, job security, shattered. But here's the gut punch. This government freeze isn't isolated. It's strangling the economy, already wheezing from 2025's headwinds. Inflation clings like damp fog. Labor markets stutter with AI job churn and supply chain scars from endless geopolitics. The Fed's rate cuts? Band-aids on a bullet wound. Economists sound alarms. Each week of shutdown? A $7 billion GDP gut punch per S&P Global. That's 0.1 percentage points shaved off growth. The White House's Council of Economic Advisors ups the ante, $15 billion weekly, with a full month torching $30 billion in consumer spending alone. Half from furloughed families tightening belts. Oxford Economics pegs it at 0.2% GDP drag per week, compounding like interest on a bad loan. Why the economic shutdown? Uncertainty is poison. Businesses freeze hiring, consumers hoard cash. Furloughed workers, many in DC and federal hubs, slash spending, no dinners out, delayed car repairs, canceled vacations. That cascades, restaurants empty, mechanics idle, airlines ground flights. The 2018-19 shutdown cost $11 billion per CBO, and that was 35 days. This one's fragile timing amplifies it. Data drought hits harder. Bureau of Labor Statistics, silent on jobs reports. Census Bureau, no economic indicators. Markets hate voids. Stocks dipped 2% pre-shutdown. Treasuries wobbled. The dollar dipped against the euro. Globally, ripples to Shanghai and Frankfurt. US consumers buy less Chinese gadgets. European exporters sweat. Prolonged. Oxford warns of recession risks, especially with structural woes. Aging infrastructure, inequality yawning wider. For families, it's visceral. A single mom in Virginia, federal clerk, stares at her fridge. WIC checks delayed, SNAP payments teeter. A vet in Ohio waits on benefits, his 401k, already battered by market jitters, takes another hit. Small businesses? Government contracts vanish. Think IT firms, construction crews. The Partnership for Public Service tallies 900,000 affected workers. their lost wages echo through main streets nationwide. Yet, amid the rubble, flickers of resilience. The Government Employee Fair Treatment Act promises back pay, a 2019 safeguard born of past pain. Negotiations grind on, bipartisan whispers of a short-term fix, maybe by week's end. But trust, shattered like the filibuster's echo. America, this shutdown isn't fate, it's failure. A reminder that democracy demands dialogue, not division. As the sun sets on day 3, October 3rd, 2025, the question hangs. Will leaders rise above the fray, or let the shutdown scar deepen? The government may reboot, but the economy's wounds? They linger, a cautionary tale etched in lost billions and broken dreams. We deserve better. Demand it, because in the land of the free, freedom thrives not in gridlock, but in governance that serves all. That's the unfiltered truth from 1 Minute Ago News, your source for news that's breaking, not broken. If this hit home, smash that like button, subscribe for alerts that arrive before the storm, and drop a comment. How's this shutdown hitting your wallet? Share with a friend who's feeling the freeze. Together, we turn whispers into roars. Stay vigilant, stay subscribed. 1 Minute Ago News, out.